All procrastinate from time to time. You write something on your to-do list for today but decide to put it off until later in the morning. When that time comes, you push it to later after lunch. Before long, the day has passed without you ever accomplishing your task. Procrastination is when an individual postpones or delays their intended course of action. Though we often think of this in terms of the scenario outlined above, it can actually take a lot of different forms. For instance, you might put off important decisions, delay getting started on personal projects, or even engaging in hobbies you enjoy. This means that a workaholic who never takes time for themselves is just as much a procrastinator as those who are on social media all day instead of working on their goals. If you're scratching your head saying, I never thought of it like that before, then guess what? We're getting somewhere. You see, we often think of procrastination as a personal inconvenience or self-sabotage. This is correct, but it goes far beyond forcing us to catch up on Friday or working over the weekend. For instance, procrastination can negatively affect our productivity, relationships, and overall well-being. When tasks are left unfinished, it can cause stress, anxiety, and a sense of guilt or shame. This guilt can manifest into an actual clinical depression, which only makes things worse. Of course, this is a self-improvement channel, so let's not forget about how procrastination can contribute to missed opportunities, decreased motivation, and of course, lower self-esteem. Fortunately, there's a solution to all of this, but it isn't always easy to face. You see, the hard truth about procrastination is that the only way you'll ever get rid of it is to bear down and do some reflection and figure out why you're procrastinating in the first place. Once you do that, you'll have to apply the right remedy and follow it through. We don't always like to hold the mirror up to ourselves, but it's sometimes the only way to move forward. Fortunately, I'm here to help by providing some common examples to get you started on this anti-procrastination journey. As we go through each of these, take a little bit of time to ask yourself, is that me? If the answer is yes, try to implement the solution I provide. You never know, this could be the key to banishing procrastination forever. So ask yourself these questions. Question number 1, do I really know what comes next? If you don't know what will come after a particular project, you might procrastinate due to fear. To help yourself overcome this, write down the next action you will take once you finish the current task. This can allow you to see how it fits into the larger scheme of things. Question number 2, do I know what I can sacrifice? If you plan a project without considering the time it will take, you can quickly and easily get overwhelmed. To avoid this, write down everything you spend time on and decide what you can give up in the pursuit of this next task. This form of time management can make you feel more in control and prevent analysis paralysis. 3, do I care about the goal? If you're not motivated to accomplish a task, you might benefit from reminding yourself why it's important. If you determine it needs to be done and you're the person to do it, set a time limit and reward yourself after completing each section. However, if you discover it's not worth your time, delete or delegate it. Do I have a workable schedule? Don't rely on motivation or wait for free time to start a task. Instead, block out specific time slots for each project. Again, this can make you feel like you're running the project rather than the project running you. This will give you back that feel of control and confidence. 5, does the task make me feel uncomfortable? If a task is uncomfortable or unpleasant in some way, the best remedy is to schedule it for the first thing in the morning. This will give you a chance to get started before you talk yourself out of it. For instance, working out for me, if I don't do it the first thing as soon as I get up, it never gets done. It gets pushed back to the end of the day. I do a lackluster workout and it just feels like it was a waste of time. 6, does the task feel like a waste of my time? Consider whether a project is truly worth your time and skills. If it's not unique to you, delegate it to someone else. If you don't have the ability to delegate, consider breaking up into smaller pieces, more manageable portions. As you accomplish each one, provide yourself with a little reward. 7, am I really qualified to do this task? If a task feels beyond your skill level, ask someone with more experience. I know this can be tough, but nothing is worse than turning in a project that's been done poorly or even late. If you don't have the option to seek help, set a time to learn and increase your qualification. Am I intimidated by the size and extent of the task? Well, you know it. The bigger the project, the more difficult it can be to start. Before you know it, you're nearly out of time and faced with tackling a massive job. The solution is to cut it into more manageable bites. Only you don't just break the project down into steps, you should also research how long each one will take. take. This will give you an estimate of the actual time involved. 9. Would some accountability help? Okay, this is a big one for those of us who are self-employed or own our own business. You see, while it's great to be your own boss, we aren't also good bosses to ourselves. For instance, we might not hold ourselves to the same standards a client or manager would, allowing for procrastination. The solution here is to find a way to introduce some accountability to our life. Trust me, things will change really quickly once you do. Procrastination doesn't have to hold you back forever. If you can figure it out or figure out why you procrastinate, you can apply the right solution and get yourself back on track.